Well, we begin with our very first story. President Mahama has released the first batch of ministerial appointments. The list of 12 names, which represent a significant change in various ministries, is also representative of a major reshuffle as well as reframing of ministries. The next set of appointments is expected to be released on Tuesday, 14 January 2013. In a statement signed by Executive Secretary to the President, Dr. Raymond Atuguba, former Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, said Tekwe rises to substantive minister-designates for that ministry. The Finance Ministry was manned by Dr. Kwabena Dufo, Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senya West, Hannah Tete, formerly of the Trade and Industry Ministry, is designated for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, formerly under Alhaji Mohamed Mumuni. Member of Parliament for Amenfi West, Akwesi Opon-Fosu, replaces Samuel Ofosu Ampofu at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Food and Agriculture Ministry, which was under Kwesi Ahoy, shall be manned by former Sports Minister Clement Omadu, Member of Parliament for Anlo. Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Alhaji A.B. Inusa Fuseni, moves from the Energy Ministry as Deputy Minister to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, formerly manned by Mike Hammer as Substantive Minister. E.T. Mensah of the Water Resources, Works and Housing is replaced by MP for Esutifi North, Alhaji Collins Dauda. Dr. Omane Boama, former Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports, goes to the Communication Ministry as Substantive Minister Designate. MP for Boko Central, Mahama Ayariga, also former Deputy Minister of Education, rises to Substantive Minister of Information, replacing Ablakwa South MP Fritz Bafo. Dr. Otinyeje moves to the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology to replace Sherry Aite. MP for Sisala West, Alhaji Amin Amidu Suleimani, is Minister Designate for the Roads and Highways Ministry, formerly manned by Joe Gidisu, MP for Central Tong. Human Rights Advocate Nana Oyeletha is Minister Designate for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, is Minister Designate for Education. Based on the list, there have been two new additions to government machinery in the persons of Nana Oyeletha and Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman. 4 deputies have risen to substantive ministers of state. 4 former ministers have been retained but handed different sectors, and it appears also that the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is a new name for the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs. Also, we're still on the President's nomination for ministerial appointments, and we got hold of some of the nominees who were in Parliament today.
The President's nomination is in accordance with Article 78 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana.
I am happy to inform you of my nomination of the following as Ministers of State Designate. 1. Mr. Setekwe, Ministry of Finance. 2. Honorable Hannah Tete, MP for Ewutu Senya West, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration.
The names that were mentioned by the Speaker as Ministers of State Designate from the President came as no surprise to members of the House. Most of them have already served as ministers or deputy ministers in the past government. Hannah Tete, who became the second female in the history of Ghana to serve as Trade and Industry Minister, has once again been nominated as the second female Minister of Foreign Affairs.
This is really an extreme honor. I am looking forward to going through the whole process of vetting and confirmation by Parliament, and I will do my best to make sure that the image of Ghana is projected positively everywhere in the world where I have the opportunity to visit and to act as Foreign Minister on behalf of the people of Ghana.
Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Designate Alhaji Inusa Fuseni said he will miss the Energy Ministry where he served under the previous administration.
One would have thought that I would have remained as the Minister of Energy if that was where he thought I did very well. But he thinks that my potential can best be exploited in the lands and natural resources, and he sent me there. So I thank him.
Conspicuously missing from the list are former Ministers of State Haruna Idrisu, Fritz Bafo, Joe Gidisu and others. Perhaps they will be included in the next nominations by the President. Emmanuel Ante, Parliament House, Accra.
Well, the nominations seem to have gone down really well with members of parliament, including members of the Appointment and Business Committee. We'll bring you sample views from some of the members.
I must say the list is excellent. Out of the 12 ministers named, 2 are women. So we, the women, are still expecting more women to be represented or elevated to these higher positions. So we want more women participation, and I know that that is going to happen, definitely.
Some of the names are surprising, but others we expected it. But it's a good list. We will wait and see what they will bring on board. We are going to really look at some of them and see what is going on. But it looks like the president is shelving off a lot of the old hands and bringing other new people into the game. So wait and see how the whole thing will go.
I think they are people of integrity, people who some have some pedigree, some in their field of profession, and I believe they've worked in the past, and I think these ones will be able to advance and help the president to advance the course of, the development of this country.
You have too many qualified hands with limited positions, and so the question of placing there and here and there becomes a matter of a difficulty. But he's come out with the first batch of names. I've heard the names clearly, except about 1 or 2 who are not in parliament, which we don't know them too well. The rest of them are there by virtue of their positions, and I'm sure the president has confidence in them.
Well, we remain with Parliament. New members continue to stir controversies in the chamber in their bid to contribute on the floor of the House. Former Deputy Minister of Information and Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, initiated what became a huge argument on the floor of Parliament when he commented on Dr. Akutosei's submission.
It all started when MP for Otafu, Dr. Akutosei, made his submission on the votes and proceedings.
Those items are not on the other paper, as you recall, or at least I haven't seen it. And I crave your indulgence that whatever way that it can be corrected. So, Speaker, the reason I'm worried is that I saw people trooping in front of you, which has never happened in Parliament. And I don't want this practice to ever
Honorable
continue.
Member.
Then, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa caught the eye of the Speaker and commented on Dr. Akutosei's contribution.
Listening to our colleagues from the other side, anytime we ask them whether they were there, they say, Honorable Akutosei, for example, just said he had an emergency in his constituency, and so he had to go to his constituency at 1:25 a.m. I find that interesting.
Members on the minority side reacted and asked that the North Tong MP withdraws his statement.
The records of this House.
Honorable Member, we are correcting votes. We are correcting votes and proceedings. Official report.
The minority leader, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, then came in to educate the honorable member on parliamentary proceedings and affairs.
I may I sound my colleague, the Honorable Ablakwa, that once the Speaker is talking, he must learn to sit down and listen to the Speaker first.
Leader, you don't import radio comments. You mentioned my name.
Mr. Speaker, in this House, you don't import radio station comments into this House. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader, I have ruled on that one.
The former minister was then advised by the chief whip of the majority, Muntaka Mubarak, to take his seat. The House has adjourned till January 29 for accommodation of members to be resolved.
Well, interesting moments there in Parliament. Now, the Energy Commission says public response to the fridge rebate scheme is satisfactory. After 3 months of its inception in Accra, close to 900 used refrigerators have been retrieved. That is according to the project coordinator, Eric Kumi Entry Ejay. Adelaide Arthur has more.
The retrieval of about 900 used refrigerators means the same number of new energy-efficient refrigerators have been released to individuals. The Energy Commission views this as a success of the pilot study in Accra and plans to scale up to cover the entire country by March ending. Interested persons have to approach the two participating shops, namely Somovision and Appliance Masters, with their second-hand fridges, electricity bills and ID cards. Once the used fridge is confirmed to be in a working order, the individual is allowed to choose a new fridge.
The Energy Commission is funding the discount of 200 Ghana cedis off the fixed price, and then you top up and pay the difference. So presently you have fridges that are going for 600, for 700, but then when our discount comes in, it will then reduce by 200. So you get fridges as low as 180 Ghana cedis to 600 to 800 Ghana cedis.
According to Energy Commission, the project, which will run for a 3-year period, will be open to include more participating retail shops once it goes nationwide. Somotex Ghana Limited, one of the two participating shops, tells Joy News it has recorded a retrieval of about 650 used refrigerators since the project started. According to the appliance retailer, it expects patronage to go high and also additional fridge models to be added as the scheme develops.
From this year onwards, the commission had said we can even take the fridges which are not working, but they will give some percentage of money in that. So each and every customer, I hope they'll be satisfied from this year onwards. But till last year, we were not able to take those fridges. The double door ones moves very fast, and the tabletops and single door is like a bit slow. But they like the bigger fridges like this, and it moves really fast.
Since the long-term goal of government is to phase out the use of second-hand fridges, the Energy Commission says it is in talks with some manufacturers to establish assembling plants here in Ghana.
We have made contacts with manufacturers, and they've also expressed interest to establish in Ghana. What the sentiments that they've expressed in the past is that the large number of used refrigerators on the Ghanaian market doesn't make it very interesting. But now with this new drive to also reduce on the importation, or to stop importation, it makes it more interesting to establish here in Ghana.
Used refrigerators, once retrieved, are handed over to the City Waste Management Company for dismantling. The Waste Management Company is in charge of safe disposal of the second-hand fridges.
The Executive Director of Child's Rights International, Bright Kwekwapia, has called on government to consider establishing a child protection system to effectively deal with issues that affect children. Speaking to Joy News in reaction to the story of an 11-year-old girl who had her buttocks and genitals bent by her grandparent, Mr. Apia re-emphasized the need for awareness creation about children's fundamental human rights.
The grandparents of the victim placed her back in boiling water to punish her for her continuous bed wetting. The stepmother of the little girl allegedly forced her to sit on boiling water, after which her grandfather, James Agbemavo, caused further bodily harm by applying an indelible ink to the bruised buttocks of the young girl. She was then left in a room for days, but was eventually rescued by police upon a tip-off by a neighbor. According to the police, the young girl was in a critical condition prior to admission at the hospital.
It was seriously bad, severe bangs. I mean, look at a situation where you have hot water boiling and then you are forced. It's not as if you mistakenly sit on it, but you are forced and pushed inside to sit on it. My dear, it was a gory incident with her buttocks burnt and some part of her vagina also affected.
When Joy News visited her at the intensive care unit of the police hospital Friday afternoon, she was fast asleep and medical professionals were attending to her. Her aunties who had come to visit her told us she was responding to treatment. Family members present were grateful to the doctors, nurses and the police for the care and support they were rendering to their daughter.
First day na yedene ba and then nyema said nyamia do mo hwe ne fine otimi move to me to 9 pejani munti nyamia dum e bon pa say by a week time and obey okay na bibia fine.
Just want to thank all of them over here, especially the nurses and the doctors. Thank them. Because when she was brought, she wasn't like this. But today I could see that my daughter is okay.
Public Relations Officer of the hospital, ASP Juliana Obin, confirmed the girl was responding to treatment and doctors are working to ensure she recovers fast. Just when we were about leaving the ward, Executive Director of Child Rights International, Bright Appiah, also came in to pay a visit to the girl.
So we are putting a few things together to support the small girl, and also to see if we can also get some support for the mother to be able to start doing something for the benefit of the baby. And what really, apart from that, we really want to create that awareness for the system to know that we need to protect the fundamental right of children, very critical. And the system must also respond quickly to the needs of children.
Head of the social services at the police hospital, DSP Elvis Bawa Sandago, noted the department is also rendering psychological and other forms of support to the girl.
In this particular instance, we are putting together a lot of NGOs. We are contacting NGOs, we are contacting other members of civil society who can provide the type of help that we can provide. Well, I'm just using this platform to appeal to anyone who wants to help one way or the other to come and then help. Any form of assistance will be welcome.
He advised parents and guardians to be moderate in punishing their wards. Meanwhile, the grandparents have been remanded in police custody.
Quite a sad one there. Taxi embossment was introduced by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly some years back for various purposes, but it appears most taxis in the metropolis are without one lately. This is because the registration center at Abosokai has folded up with no information communicated to the taxi drivers. We've been finding out what went wrong.
Embossment on taxis is meant to check car theft and other criminal activities. It is also the surest way of retrieving lost items left behind by passengers. It makes it very easy to retrieve information and data on a particular vehicle and its driver. Taxis with no embossment, however, were not allowed access to some jurisdictions within the city. One area that still restricts taxis with no embossment or stickers till date is Burma Camp. Taxi drivers lament they most often lose sales due to unavailability of stickers on their vehicles to this destination. Daniel Appiah told Joy News they've been denied means to embossment for some time now, leaving thousands of taxis with no stickers in the metropolis.
So even if you go to the Abosokai and Sekins, the place where they make the embossment, even they are not working. They close the place. So the new cars are coming, they don't have the embossment. And one thing is worrying is, if you get dropping, you are going inside to the Burma Camp, they won't allow you to enter without the sticker. They make the place, Abosokai, the second place, they will open it so that we can go there and do it. If they are not doing there, then they should allow us to enter every place.
Public Relations Officer of the AMA, Numo Blafo, confirmed to Joy News the halt was meant for restructuring and review since the Assembly was losing a lot of money registering the taxis.
As we're speaking now, the review is almost complete, and I think this year we'll see something about beginning of the embossment on taxis again. All taxis that are registered with the AMA and are operating within the jurisdiction of the AMA will have to have the AMA embossment.
Jonas Debra, who does not drive a branded taxi, however, argued the embossment has outlived its usefulness.
Then nowadays, they didn't check well. So as for me, they are supposed to cancel it. It's not good. It is not helping us anyway.
Numo Blafo disagrees.
He is just looking at taxis not having this embossment, not being allowed to enter certain areas. Maybe that's what he is looking at. But I think we rather need it more than before, because crime has gone into another level. And not only crime, but also it keeps track of who is driving, what taxi, at what time. And most of the time too, because of the embossment, we were able to even have data, some kind of data on the drivers themselves. So if he says it has outlived its use, I think maybe was limited in the scope of his thinking.
He assured the exercise will bounce back in style and will involve every taxi within the catchment area of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
The wearing of beads is an integral part of Ghanaian history and culture. The record of bead usage over the years is fascinating. In the past, beads wearing was seen as a sign of royalty. Beads were also believed to have magical and medicinal powers and were used by priests in voodoo rituals. But with the advent of Christianity and modernity, bead usage has taken on another significant yet different role. Eric Curtis Howard has been finding out about these roles.
Just like diamonds in Western cultures, beads until recently were a Ghanaian girl's best friend. Throughout her life, custom required that a Ghanaian woman adorns her waist with a pretty little gems. But more than that, the wearing of beads, particularly around the waist, in the past was believed to have given the average Ghanaian woman the shape she so much desired to attract the right man. Gone were the days when beads wearing had no substitute. It was the favorite of royalty and a treasure worth exposing only on special occasions for all manner of Ghanaians, both males and females. Now, in the current Ghanaian society, beads are used as fashion accessories mainly. Their use in courtship rituals over past centuries has helped its evolution into fashionable item worn with the intention of attracting the opposite sex. Beads in recent times have received stiff competition from other Western and metal jewelry. But there is one part of the Ghanaian woman's body where metal and Western jewelry can never match up to with beads, and that is the waist. The colors and numbers of beads a woman wears around her waist all depends on the woman.
Na tete no ye nananom agidi se Saudi beads na eto wasene a ema wo shape no eye kama enu nti na omo ehye yen se yemfa nto se wanentu kra wo de toto a etumi ema wanentu no ginagina honom kama nti na omo shema ye saade no.
Similarly, some men enjoy wearing beads on their wrists or around their necks because they feel it complements their outfit or adds a certain status to their appearance based on the association of beads with royalty.
Different types of beads now. Normally, now the deputy say be culture no, or African. And just who say we done sa. No nipa we or Ghanaian or African.
As the diversity of Ghanaian culture keeps advancing and the influence of Western fashion, beads seem to have lost some of their appeal, and many young Ghanaians are seen wearing metal chains and other jewelry instead. However, a preference for beads still remains a favorite pastime for some section of the youth, particularly young females.
I prefer beads because it's a traditional something. You get it? So when you put on beads, I mean, it shows the kind of person you are. You know, so I like wearing beads. That's I can't actually give you a specific something that the reason why I want to wear beads, but for me, I just want to look a traditional person.
The modern day beads come in different colors, sizes, and are really affordable.
Because of materials, I the design of beads. My beads we say no small beads and more big beads. Big ones no, they just 7 cedi per one. And the small ones, so just 5 cedi per one.
Yes, metal jewelry has helped the ordinary Ghanaian with options when it comes to what to wear for what occasion, but the fact still remains that the wearing of beads in Ghana can never be out of vogue. Custom has it that until a man is married or engaged to a woman, he is not allowed to watch, let alone touch the beads around the woman's waist. Well, we leave you with this food for thought for the weekend.
Indeed, bead wearing is still in vogue. Welcome to the Business Report. Tallow Oil PLC is now pegging the current daily production of crude oil, the Jubilee field, at around 110,000 barrels This was contained in the firm's trading statement and operational update released today. This means it might take quite a while before hitting the 120,000 barrel targeted by close of last year, contrary to the expectation of other partners. Speaking to Joy Business from London, Head of Media Relations at Tullow Oil PLC, George Kazanov, attributed the delay to some technical challenges with the FPSO. He also described last year as quite successful in terms of production from the Jubilee field. It had been estimated that the field would produce on the average 120,000 barrels of oil a day a few months after the commencement of production. That target is, however, yet to be achieved more than 2 years since production began. The Jubilee field has now produced a little over 50 million barrels of oil since it began commercial production in 2010. Well, away from oil, foreign investors appear to have renewed their confidence in the economy after heavily oversubscribing government's 3-year bond. The government paper auction yesterday was oversubscribed by almost 500%. Though government sought to raise 400 million cedis, it received 2.2 billion cedis from investors. Out of this, 1.8 billion Ghana cedis came from foreigners. Government, however, accepted 402 million Ghana cedis. Acting Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufo explained to Joy Business the oversubscription is a sign that the economy is being managed well. But the head of brokerage at Ecobank Capital, Mahama Idrisu, tells Joy Business the oversubscription could largely be attributed to the returns offered to investors. The bond will have a yield of 16.7%, down from the 21% offered to investors in the 3-year bond issued in October 2012. Now, proceeds from the offer will be used to settle the country's maturing bonds. Well, moving on, U.S. regulators have ordered a review of the 787 Dreamliner plane that, after a series of incidents, put a question mark over the safety of Boeing's flagship plane.
The review by the Federal Aviation Administration will look at the design and manufacture of the planes, but it is not clear whether the planes in the air at the moment will be grounded. An electrical fire, a brake problem, a fuel spill and cracks in the cockpit's windshield have affected Dreamliner flights in the past week. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner is one of the most advanced airplane ever created. Much of it is made from very strong light carbon fiber optic composite material. However, a spate of technical issues has hurt its image. On Friday, 2 new problems were found, adding to Boeing's woes. Boeing has delivered 50 of the 787s starting in late 2011 and has orders for nearly 800 more. To get through the backlog, Boeing is increasing production to build 10 of the planes per month by the end of the year. By comparison, it builds more than one 737, Boeing's bestseller, every day.
Well, that's it for the business reports. Coming up is smart investment tips and market data.
My name is Rashida Kadiri. Good evening. Welcome to the sports segment on the news. And we begin, of course, we still are looking ahead to the AFCON 2013 tournament upcoming in South Africa. It begins on the 19th of this month. And Black Stars midfielder Anthony Annan could make an early return to training after picking an injury against Egypt yesterday. The midfielder was withdrawn 25 minutes into the first half of the pre-Nations Cup warm-up game against the Pharaohs at the Zayed Sports Complex in Abu Dhabi after landing awkwardly following a tackle. He was replaced by Derek Boateng. But minutes after the game, which Ghana won by 3-0, Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah confirmed that Annan's ankle problem was not too serious as feared initially. Annan will be making his 4th Africa Cup of Nations appearance when Ghana start their Group B match against DR Congo and follow it up with that of Mali and against Niger. Now, Ghana coach Kwesi Appiah says he will rate the Black Stars above average after their first test game against Egypt. The 4-time African champions thumped the 7-time winners 3-0 on Thursday in Abu Dhabi in an international friendly. Coach Kwesi Appiah said his interest is not about the convincing scoreline, but how prepared his team is ahead of the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations. Ghana's next warm-up game is against Tunisia on Sunday before they move to South Africa. Now, everything is almost set for the Black Stars participation in the 29th edition of the AFCON tournament, and already the jersey numbers have been released. I'm sure you saw a lot of them yesterday play, but here is what each player will be wearing, and jersey number 1 will be worn by Daniel Ajay, who plays for Liberty Professionals. Richard Kisi Boateng will don jersey number 2, and Richard Kisi Boateng plays for Brekum Chelsea. Asamoah Gyan, skipper of the side, will be in the jersey number 3. Jersey number 4 will go to John Paintel, who plays for Hapoel Tel Aviv. Mohamed Awal plays for Maritzburg in South Africa. He would wear jersey number 5. Anthony Annan, who plays in Spain, will wear jersey number 6. Number 7 will be Christian Atsu, who also plays for FC Porto. Emmanuel Ajiman Bedu will be in jersey number 8. Jersey number 9, Derek Boateng. Jersey number 10, Albert Dankwa Adoma. He plays for Bristol City in England. Rabiu Mohammed will be in jersey number 11. Larson Karsey, that's Adam Larson Karsey, the goalkeeper. He will be in jersey number 12. Jerry Akaminko will wear jersey number 13. Solomon Asante, Brekum Chelsea's midfield diminutive figure, he will be in jersey number 14. Isaac Vossa will wear jersey number 15. Abdul Fattah Dauda, he was in post for Ghana against Egypt yesterday. He will be in the jersey number 16. Emmanuel Clottey, former Brekum Chelsea striker, CAF Champions League top scorer of the year 2012. He would be in jersey number 17. Richmond Boachiadom will wear jersey number 18. Jonathan Mensah, who plays for Evian Tournon Gaillard in France, will wear jersey number 19. Number 20 goes to Kojo Asamoah. He's been wearing that for quite a long time now. He plays for Juventus FC in Italy. John Boy will wear jersey number 21. John Boy plays for Stade Rennes, and he is a defender. Mubarak Wakaso plays his football in Espanyol. He was phenomenal for the Black Stars last night, and he will wear jersey number 22. And finally, jersey number 23 will go to defender for Esperance, Harrison Afo. So I'm sure identifying the Black Stars in their jerseys will be quite easy, even if they don't have their names at the back of their jerseys. And on that note, I end sports news for tonight. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Showbiz is up next with Marian Ture.
Well, news just coming in. Counsel for the NPP's presidential candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, and the 2 other petitioners challenging the validity of the result of the 2012 presidential elections say they would no longer challenge the composition of the panel of judges sitting on the case at the Supreme Court. The council's decision was contained in a statement signed by lawyers of the petitioners Akufo-Addo, Prempeh and Co. Lawyers representing the NPP's presidential candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, and 2 other plaintiffs met on Friday to consider their options in filing a formal application at the Supreme Court. Now, the lawyers raised an objection in respect of the composition of the panel of judges during the hearing of the NDC's application to join the NPP's petition and requested for an in-camera hearing. However, their request was declined with the presiding judge, Justice William Atuguba, asking the lawyers to file a formal application. The meeting was also to decide when to file the formal application challenging the composition of the panel of judges sitting on the election petition before the Supreme Court. But the statement noted, "We have upon consideration decided not to pursue the matter in order to facilitate an expeditious determination of the petition." According to the statement, the decision was to ensure an early hearing of the application for joinder.